Hi, welcome to lecture 4. So far what we have done is we have learned how to write if statements, we have learned how to write while, how to write for. So basically we are able to write a lot of code using all these constructs, right? So in this lecture, in lecture 4, we will be concentrating on something that will help us write better code. So whatever code we have written so far, that's absolutely great, but we are going to learn something that is going to help us write much better code than what we have been writing so far. Okay, so we'll learn something called functions. Okay, so we'll be learning something called functions. Great. So to get started, I'll start with a problem. So the problem that you want to solve right now is that we want to compute NCR, n choose r. So what exactly is this number? I hope all of you remember this. I hope you still remember from your school days. So NCR basically means n choose r. So if I have n objects, in how many ways I can choose r out of them? I want to choose r objects out of n objects. How many ways can I do that? Right? So the basic formula for NCR is n factorial divided by r factorial multiplied with n minus r factorial. So for example, if you want to find out how many ways I have to choose 4 objects out of 10 objects, what I will do is I'll calculate 10 factorial. I will divide 10 factorial by 4 factorial and 10 minus 4 factorial as well. So this is the number that will tell me how many ways I have to choose 4 objects out of 10 items that I have. Okay, so I want to write code for that. Great, let's get started. So let me quickly create a project, lecture 4. Within lecture 4, in SRC, I'm going to create a new package, right? A subfolder within our main project folder. So let's call it, so we want to study something called functions. Let's finish it. Now within functions, let's create a new class. The class I'm going to name n choose r, ncr. Okay, I'll include main. Finish. So what is the first thing that I need to do? I need to take n and r. So let's write scanner s is equals to new scanner I'll take n as, take r as. So I have 2 numbers and I want to calculate NCR. So to calculate NCR, you basically need 3 components, right? You need to calculate n factorial, you need to calculate r factorial, you need to calculate n minus r factorial. So you need this, this and this. We need 3 components to calculate our final solution, right? So let's quickly write code to find out our numerator. What is our numerator? N factorial. So to calculate n factorial, I will start my numerator with 1. I'll write a for loop. What do you want to do? You want to multiply from 1 to all numbers between 1 to n. I hope all of you remember I++, which basically means I'm incrementing I by 1. right? So num is equals to, num is my numerator, I am writing a shortcode for numerator, so num is 1, and I am multiplying all numbers from 1 to n into num. So that should give me n factorial. So that's your numerator. For denominator, you have two components. So I'm going to call them denominator 1, which is r factorial. So the code is going to look exactly same. I just copy paste it below. The only thing that's going to change is, instead of this n, we need a r, and instead of multiplying into numerator, we will multiply it into denominator, right? So now we have n factorial, we have r factorial. What do you need now? You need n minus r factorial. Again, the code is going to look exactly the same. It's just that instead of denominator 1, we'll have denominator 2. And we will go till n minus r and by the time you reach line 26, you have all three components, right? I have all the three components that are required to get to my answer. So what will my answer? My answer will be, I need to divide my numerator by denominator 1 into denominator 2, and I can print out my answer. Okay, so let's quickly run this. So save the file. So it's asking for the first number. Let's say I have 6 objects and I want to choose 3. So it's saying there are 20 ways you can choose 3 objects out of 20. Right? Let's just make sure the calculation is correct. So if you will, so 6 choose 3. What will this be? This will be 6 factorial divided by r factorial, 6 minus 3 factorial, right? 6 factorial is 720. 3 factorial is 6. This also is 3. So again 3 factorial is 6. This becomes 36. 720 divided by 36 will be 20. That's the correct answer that we are getting. Okay. So we are getting exactly the correct answer that we were hoping to get. Great. So this works exactly the way we want it to work. But I have a small problem with this whole setup. The way we have written our code, I don't like it much. Why? So हमने यहाँ पर देख लिया कि हम n factorial कैसे निकालेंगे. हमने exactly same code नीचे copy किया to find out r factorial. Then we copied exactly the same code again to find out n minus r factorial. जो code चाहिए था उसको मैंने पहले लिखा, दिमाग लगाया पूरा, फिर मैंने उसको दोबारा कॉपी किया, फिर मैंने उसको फिर से कॉपी किया. So every place where you need to find factorial, you are copying the exact same code that you have written once. Code copy करना ना बहुत ही बुरा आइडिया होता है. It's a really bad idea. Because now let's say I find that मेरे factorial निकालने में छोटी सी गलती थी कुछ, तो मुझे एक एक करके सब जगह पे जाना पड़ेगा जहां जहां मैंने कॉपी किया हुआ है. Every place where I have copied my factorial का code, I'll have to go to each and every place and change or correct it. जो भी गलती की हुई है उसको ठीक करना पड़ेगा मुझे. Okay? So that's a very bad practice to do. We should not copy code again and again and again. Instead, what we should do, we should use something called a function.